Namaste to everyone. I welcome you all in my YouTube video channel. Today I will deliver our lecture on zeros, singularities and poles. Lecture number 7, in which I will prove some theorems on limit points of zeros. Now we prove a theorem. Statement of theorem is, let function of z be analytic in a domain D and let E be a set of zeros of function of z having a limit point alpha in D, then either function of z vanishes identically in D or else has an isolated essential singularity. Now we prove this. Given that function of z is analytic in a domain D, let this is domain D. Here function of z is analytic at all points. Let E be a set of zeros of function of z. Let this is E, set of zeros having limit point alpha in D. Let alpha I be a point in E, since E be the set of all zeros of fz. Therefore, f alpha I equal to 0 if alpha I belongs to E. This is number 1. And if the limit point alpha belongs to E, then function of alpha equal to 0, because at all points inside E the value of the function is 0. If the limit point alpha of E does not belong to E, then alpha belongs to D minus E. Let this is the alpha. Since alpha is a limit point of E, therefore every neighborhood in alpha of alpha contains infinite number of elements. Alpha I belongs to E, I equal to 1, 2, dot 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 dot. Since alpha I belongs to n alpha, neighborhood of alpha, and alpha I belongs to E, implies that f of alpha I equal to 0, and since fz is analytic in D implies that fz is analytic in alpha, neighborhood of alpha, implies that fz is continuous in neighborhood of alpha. Therefore, f alpha equal to 0. Let this is number 2. Since we know that zeros are isolated, therefore alpha does not belong to neighborhood of alpha I. Therefore alpha cannot be a zero of function of z unless function of z vanishes for all z belongs to D. First part proved. If a function of z does not vanish identically in D, then f alpha not equal to 0. But it is clear that there are infinite number of zeros in the neighborhood in alpha. Therefore, modulus of fz does not tends to infinity in the neighborhood of alpha. Therefore, by Weierstrass theorem, alpha is an isolated essential singularity but not pole, not a pole. Proved. Now we prove a theorem which is known as identity theorem. Statement of the theorem is if function of z, fz and gz are analytic in a domain D and if fz equal to gz on a subset E of D which has a limit point alpha in D, then fz equal to gz in the whole of D. Now we prove this. Given that fz and gz are analytic in a domain D. This is the domain D, and also given that if z equal to gz for all z belongs to E. E is a subset of D. Here E. Here if z equal to gz, let capital Fz equal to Fz minus gz. This is number one. For z belongs to E, Fz equal to small fz minus gz equal to fz. This is 0. Therefore, capital Fz equal to 0 for all z belongs to E. Therefore, E be the collection of all zeros of capital Fz, given that alpha be a limit point of E. Therefore, every neighborhood in alpha of alpha contains infinite number of points. Alpha I belongs to E. I equal to 1, 2, dot, 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 dot. This is the definition of a limit point. If alpha be a limit point of the set E, then every neighborhood of alpha contains infinite number of points of E. Therefore, alpha I belongs to n alpha, means this alpha I be a point in the neighborhood of alpha. But capital F alpha I equal to 0, since alpha I belongs to E. E be the collection of all zeros of Fz. Let this is number 2, this is number 3. Since Fz and Gz are analytic in D, implies that capital Fz equal to small fz minus gz is analytic in D, implies that fz is continuous in D. Therefore, if alpha I equal to 0, alpha I belongs to n alpha, neighborhood of alpha, implies that capital F alpha equal to 0. This is number 4. But we know that zeros are isolated. So, alpha does not belong to neighborhood of alpha I. Therefore, alpha cannot be 0. Of fz unless fz vanishes identically for all z belongs to D, implies that fz equal to 0 for all z belongs to D, implies that small fz minus small gz equal to 0 for all z belongs to D, implies that fz equal to gz for all z belongs to D. Proved. Thanks for watching my video. If you are satisfied with my presentation and content, then please click on like button and do subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you.